Hello students, once again I extend my heartiest welcome to everyone in my class. Dear students, as you can see today we are going to continue with the same poem that we started recently. The title of this poem is The Ball. Students, let me tell you briefly what all we have discussed already in the previous video lesson. Students, we have discussed about the poet in the previous video lesson. We have discussed about the central idea, or say the main theme of the poem. We have already discussed the explanation of the poem, that was a detailed explanation of the poem, and along with explanation of the poem we have discussed briefly main literary devices which have been used in the poem, right? Important questions we could not discuss that day because there was no time left and the length of the video had been crossed, so I did not want to have it this topic discussed that day. um, right, so I'm trying to discuss this or trying to have this topic today in today's video lesson. So let us begin. So students, as I said, we have already discussed many things. We have discussed the explanation, we have discussed the main literary devices, and today we are going to continue with the value points. Students, value points mean to say the important points which have been covered in the poem, right? So let's begin. As we know that poet tells us about a boy who has lost his ball. The method of losing the ball, the reason of losing the ball has not been given there, but we are only told that the ball went on merrily and it went into the water. The boy had a very deep emotional attachment and memories associated with that ball, so he was very sad over it. He was feeling regret over it. He was feeling upset that he had lost the ball. Okay, students, it happens with us also that anything that is related to our childhood, whether it is a gadget, it is a ball, it is a anything that we have used in our childhood, when we see that thing in future, so all the memories of the time when we had used that particular things, all those memories come back. Okay, so the boy, he was feeling regret that all because he had a very deep emotional attachment with the ball. His memories were associated with the ball, so he was feeling sad, he was feeling regret, he was feeling upset over the loss of the ball, right? The poet is trying to tell us here that we should try to learn how to cope up with the loss. Students, if you remember, I told you in the previous video lesson that profit and loss, these are two important parts of our life, and these are important and these are inevitable parts also, right? Both the things, whether this is loss or it is profit, we are going to come across in various phases of our life, right? So poet here, he's trying to tell us that if we have received any loss, if we have got any loss, so how should we cope up with the loss? What should we do? How should we react over it, right? Students, we should remember that all the experiences, whether good experiences or bad experiences, both the experiences are important in our life. We should try to learn out of both the situations. If we are happy, if we are surrounded by happy moments, if we have faced something that is terrible, something bad, so both the experiences should teach us something. We should try to grow with the help of these experiences. This is what the poet is trying to tell us with the help of the example that he has given here of the boy who has lost his ball. The boy had lost his ball in the beginning of the poem. The poet has tried to show that He's trying to show that the boy was very upset over this loss. Because he has given there the reason also, and the reasons are that because the boy had very deep emotional attachment and all various memories were associated with that ball, so that is why he was feeling upset over it, right? But later on, poet tells that now this boy should learn his responsibilities. And what responsibilities does he say? He just wants to infer here, he just wants to indicate here that the loss and profits will definitely come in our lives. So the real human being should try to learn how to cope up with those things. If that is a good situation, if that is profit, if that is loss, we should try to learn to cope up with it positively and take our responsibilities, right? Further, what does he say? He also mentions here that money is external. What does it mean? Money cannot buy memories. Okay, it cannot be, we cannot have our memories back with the help of money. It's a very deep meaning sentence here. Money is external. Students, money can buy you luxuries, money can buy us. I would rather use the phrase us here, the word us here. Money can buy us a lot of things. It can buy us a lot of luxury, comforts, but what cannot money buy? As it cannot buy those memories back, those times back. Okay, because in the poem I told you that his ball is also a symbol of his childhood, right? Because once the childhood this time is gone, it cannot be brought nor bought back. Okay, this is also poet tries to indicate here, that money is external, it is not everything. We should remember that, students, money is important. Okay, if it is important, so it is important to buy various things which are essential for our survival here. When I say the word which are essential for our survival, it includes all those stuffs which are required for our livelihood, for so that we can live in this earth. It includes, as I said, food, clothes, homes, and other necessities, right? But it cannot buy things like memories. It cannot buy that emotional attachment that the boy had with the ball. Obviously money can help you in buying a new ball. Okay, it can be even the same looking ball, but exactly the ball which has gone into the water, now this is impossible for the boy to get it back. Okay, so poet also indicates here that money is external, it is not everything. We cannot buy memories with the help of money. The poet also tries to tell us that we should learn our responsibility and learn to cope up with the loss. Okay, so this is also a message that the poet wants to give us, that throughout our life we should try to understand various responsibility that we have, we keep getting, and we should try to learn to cope up with various losses that we will get in our life. Because he also wants to indicate here that losses are integral part of our life, right? So this is all he says. These are some of the important value points of the poem. In a nutshell, I would say that the poet wants to tell us to accept this fact that we will receive, we will get loss and profit in our lives. The best practice is that we should learn to cope up with the loss, and we should take our responsibility, we should learn our responsibility positively, right? Now students, we will discuss poem comprehension. Okay, what is poem comprehension? This is going to be important for examination, especially about poems. What kind of questions are given? You are given a stanza, or you are given a couple of lines from a poem, from a story, or from a play. or it can be a dialogue if it is a play, and questions are framed from that particular extraction. Okay, so I have taken some extractions from the poem for you, some stanzas for you. Exactly, the poem is not divided into various stanzas, but I have taken some lines for you, and some possible questions have been framed from those lines. Okay, let's begin. So this is the first stanza. In a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, the little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. We have just discussed the same in the previous slide. Let's go for the first question. Explain what is meant by money is external. This is the first question. Who has lost the ball and when? The third question for you is what has the boy learnt from the loss? And the last question from this stanza is from these lines is what does the poet want him to learn? Okay, before I tell you the answers of these questions, something important about how to write these answers in the examination, right? Students, you will see that these questions contain 1 mark. Okay, since it is a comprehension question, so writing additionally from your side will not be suggested, right? Because this is comprehension. Okay, comprehension means to say what do you get out of this passage or this poem or this extract, right? So the word limit for this question, if it is possible for you to write the answer in 1 word, if it is possible. Okay, I said if it is possible, you can do that. And if you need to frame a sentence, then you can do that. But keep in mind that word limit should not be very much here. You should not increase the word limit more than 20 even. I'm saying this is enough. If it is possible to sum up the question, to write the answer of such questions in about 15 to 20 words, that is enough. But once again, I need to remind you, if it is possible for you to write the answers of these questions in 1 word or 1 sentence or 1 phrase even, you are allowed for that. You can do that, right? So the answers are, the first question, explain what money is external. Okay, it means money cannot do everything. Now if you start explaining here in detail, like in the previous slide I told you, money cannot buy everything, it cannot buy happiness, it cannot buy memories, it cannot buy those emotional attachment which the boy had with the ball. It can buy all the luxuries. If you are going to write this much answer, it's going to increase your word limit. It's going to take your extra time, the time that you can devote for the rest of the question paper. So what can you do is, what you should do rather, I need to say that write to the point. Okay, write to the point which gives the answer to that question. There is no need to write in detail for such questions. To write in detail, there are other categories of questions. There are long answer type questions. There are questions which are to be answered in about 30 to 40 words, in 100 to 120 words, 150 words for writing section. You have got many questions like that. Okay, but for poem comprehension, you are to follow what I suggested you just. Okay, second question, who has lost the ball and when? Now you see, a boy has lost the ball while playing. Okay, it is enough. Next answer, what has the boy learned from the loss? The boy has learnt a sense of loss. He has his childhood memories associated with the ball. Since there were memories associated with the ball, so he has learnt how to cope up with that loss. The sense of loss has been learnt. Okay, last one, what does the poet want him to learn? The poet wants him to learn that losses and gains are part of life, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind, word limit especially, and writing to the point. Okay, write to the point. Okay, let's move on. The next stanza for you is ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands right trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless now. He senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. Okay, who is I? While explaining you this poem and the other poems also, I have told you many times that there are possibilities of framing questions, especially when there is a pronoun used in the poem. Okay, if a pronoun used in the poem, the single question, the question that is framed with the help of a pronoun is for whom this word I has been used, or who is I in the above lines. Okay, so for who is he in these lines, right? So you should be ready for that. Okay, who is I in these lines? Okay, we'll discuss this later. The boy has learned to understand. He has learned to understand something. We'll just discuss that. Why does the boy feel ultimate shaking grief when he loses his ball? Okay, why is the ball precious to the child? Right, let's discuss the answers quickly. The first answer is, see, I told you that if it is possible for you to write the answer in one word or one phrase, or like it has been answered here, the poet. Who is I here? The poet. Okay, it comes here, I would not intrude on him. The poet says that when the boy was standing near the water and watching his or searching his ball there, and he's upset, the poet says that I would not go there and ask him the reason that is he upset. Rather, I would see him there. I would not intrude him. I would not go there and disturb him. Right? So I has been used here for the poet. The boy has learned to understand the sense of loss and his responsibilities. Okay, now he has understood. And when does this happen? This happens towards the end of the poem. Okay, why does the boy feel ultimate shaking grief when he loses his ball? This is because he has lost his ball, and you know the reason that this ball has got a lot of associations, lot of memories are attached with that ball. That is why he is upset, that is why he is sad and standing near the water there. Okay, the last question, why is the ball precious to the child? Because he was very attached to the ball and hence was very upset about losing it. Okay, because of all the memories which have been associated, which are attached with the ball, because of that it is precious to the child. Okay, let's move on. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. The boy who has lost his ball is in the state of, okay, the ball went into the water. Okay, the ball got lost dash, you have to fill. I in the above lines refers to, okay, for whom has this word I been used for. Let's discuss the answers. First answer, the boy who has lost his ball in the state he is in the state of shock and grief. Okay, because he has lost his ball. Next question, the ball went into the water happily bouncing, merrily bouncing, happily bouncing. Okay, the ball got lost in the water. Okay, this was the place where the ball got lost. The last question, I in the above lines refers to the ball. Okay, the last stanza here for you is no use to say, oh, there are other balls. Ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. The first line, who composed the above lines, students? This is an important question which sometimes students ignore. Remembering the name of the author of a story, remembering the name of the poet of a poem is very much important. You should do that because it's going to award you 1 mark if you are writing the correct answer. Okay, next question. The poet thinks it is improper to say the boy, oh, there were other balls, because the reason. The boy's reaction to the loss of his ball shows that. What does it show? To the poet, the loss is not important enough. The answers, let's quickly discuss these answers. Who composed these above lines? John Berryman. If you students, if you remember, we have already discussed about this poet John Berryman. If you remember, I told you the name of a book that this poet John Berryman composed, and this book managed him to give 2 important awards. Okay, if you remember the name of that book, you can write in the comment section of your classroom that this is the book that John Berryman had written and it awarded him this prize, okay, or these prizes. Next question. The poet thinks improper to say the boy there are other balls because he wants the boy to learn to have a sense of loss. Students, let us understand here a very important philosophical message that the poet wants to convey uh, to us. That is, see, if we practically think, when the boy he lost his ball, it was obviously possible for the boy to go back home or and talk to his parents and get one more ball, or with the help of money, or maybe possible he has kept some additional balls there in his house and he could use those balls. But the poet does not want this idea come in his mind that there are other balls also. If this ball has been lost, you get the other ball. The poet wants that the boy should learn a sense of loss. He should learn that he is going to face a lot of losses in his life in future. He wants the boy to understand that loss is an integral part of his life. Okay, so that is why he does not want to indicate here that there are other balls and you get and have one. Okay, that's why he did not do this. This is the reason in one of the lines he says that I did not intrude on him, I did not go there and disturb, or I did not go there and offered him help. Nothing like this was done by the poet. Okay, instead of that, his sole intention is to have the boy learn the sense of loss. Okay, the boy's reaction to the loss of ball shows that he was very attached to the lost ball and was very upset about losing it. Okay, we have discussed this about this a lot in detail also, that all the memories which were associated, which were attached with the ball, because of that he was feeling upset. Okay, the last question. To the poet, the loss is not important enough to worry about, because of that loss he understood that it's going to be an integral part of his life. In future he is going to receive lot many losses. This is what the idea, this is what the poet's aim, I should say, in some senses, that he wants the boy to understand his responsibilities, his duties, his sense of understanding that loss and profit is going to be, or loss and profit both are going to be integral part, and these are going to be inevitable in one's life, right? So these were the questions of comprehension, and as I can see that we are running out of time, so I'll quickly discuss these questions. How did the boy really react to the loss of ball? Or was he fearful of something or someone? Or can our attention be directed towards his family and other people? Are they any lesson to be learned? See, the poet has clearly indicated in the poem, with the help of the boy and his losing his dearly ball, that loss and profit both are going to be integral part of human life, and we should be ready for that. Okay, attention that it can be directed towards his family and the other people, or there are any other lesson. Okay, see students, if things are going to be lost in our life, equally the people, those who are with us, our family members, our friends, they are also not going to be with us forever. We are going to lose them one day or the other. So this is an indirect message of the poet for us, that we should be ready and we should act responsibly, and we should learn the sense of loss, and we should learn our responsibilities. Okay, why does the poet say, I would not intrude on him? Why doesn't he offer him money to buy another ball? I have explained this in previous slide. The poet did not go there. The moment he saw the boy was upset, he was unhappy, he was sad, standing there and trying to search his ball, he said, I did not intrude, I did not go there and intrude on him, disturb him, because he doesn't want the boy to help in this moment when he is thinking about, or about the loss, or you can say that when he is learning the sense of responsibility. Okay, so that is why he did not go there and did not offer anything like money to buy another ball. That's why he did not go there. How is the lost ball the metaphor of lost childhood of the boy? Very important question. I love this question. Students, I told you that the ball that has been lost, boy can buy another ball, but boy cannot exactly get the same ball. The same happens with our ages also. I gave you in the previous lesson the example of a poem written by William Shakespeare. The poem is titled as Seven Ages, where William Shakespeare, he describes various seven stages of human life. Okay, so childhood is also one of these stages. Once we have crossed this stage, we cannot get back to that stage again. This is the dilemma, this is the problem with all these stages that we are covering, that we can go to the next stage obviously in future, but we cannot recede back, we cannot come back to the previous stage. Okay, so here when the boy finds that his ball has been lost, indirectly the poet has indicated us that the way the boy lost his ball, one day we are going to lose our childhood. The way ball was bouncing, okay, so bouncing of the ball was an indication, was a symbol of childhood. Okay, because in the childhood we are like bouncing ball, we are jumping from this way to the other way, this side to the other side, this game, that game. Sometimes you will see young boys this at this place, and the other side, other moment you will find them somewhere else. The level of their energy never ends. Okay, so that is the moment. Once this time is gone, once this stage is over, once we have gone through this stage, once we have covered this stage, like this boy who is repenting over, who is upset over the loss of his ball, we also react in the same way. You would have heard people often talking that yes, those childhood days were the golden days in our life. Okay, but those days cannot be, we cannot get those days back. Money cannot do anything. That is why poet says in the poem that money is external. It is not possible for any one of us that with the help of any amount of money those days of childhood can come back. Okay, these can never come back. So this is why the poet has said that the ball, lost ball, is the metaphor of lost childhood of the boy. Okay, he is also upset over his lost childhood. Last question: what is the epistemology of loss in this world of possession. See, I have explained this epistemology mean to say the sense, the understanding, or say the knowledge of loss. Knowledge of loss means, students, we should remember that loss and profit both are going to be integral part of our lives. Both the experiences, when we are in the state of profit, we should act reasonably, we should act responsibly, and when we are in the state of loss, in that situation also we should act accordingly. Okay, we should not feel upset, we should not feel joy. That should be, we should, instead of all these reactions, the poet, he focuses that we should learn the sense of loss, though he has not said anything about profit, but he indirectly says that, okay, there is a message hidden there. If there is loss, obviously students, and then nobody can have every time losses in his life, so profit has to be there. Profit does not mean, it should not be taken in terms of money or in terms of material, but loss and profit, both these words have been used just to tell you the various things that we are going to lose, or the various things that we are going to get, or we are going to achieve in our life. Okay, so the epistemology of loss in the world of possession is that loss and profit both are going to be integral part of our life. We should learn to act and behave sensibly whenever we are in this state of loss, or whenever we are in this state of profit. Right, students? So these were some of the important questions from this poem. We have discussed in detail these questions, the comprehension questions, and I'm sure that we will learn something out of this poem, that we should understand the sense of responsibility, we should understand the sense of losing. We should remember that both loss and profit are going to be integral part of our life. Alright, students, one more lesson on this poem. It can be a quick revision on this poem will be uploaded very soon. Right, till then, have a nice day to you all. Thank you very much.